Today on Mystery Hunters.
We found evidence of monsters you can see.
And monsters you can't.
I'm on the trail of something straight out of a nightmare. But I didn't dream this.
It was a tall creature.
His eyes were just as red as fire.
Is there a half man, half lizard in the swamps of South Carolina? If there is, I'm gonna find it.
And I'm on the hunt for monsters that are so tiny, they're invisible.
Are you ready to see what's been living in your headquarters?
Okay.
And Doubting Dave uncovers a secret about another famous monster.
It's alive!
This is Mystery Hunters.
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
I'm on my way to the swamps near Bishopville, South Carolina. Now, this is where one of the strangest cases involving a swamp creature ever took place. It happened over 20 years ago, but some people remember it as if it happened yesterday. Liston Truesdale was the sheriff of Leeds County for over 19 years. He was the man in charge of the investigation when the lizard man first appeared.
Something had really chewed up a 85 Ford.
Around the same time, reports started to come in of a tall, terrifying creature with red eyes lurking near Scape or Swamp.
Immediately, we started looking for this creature. If there's something like that in the neighborhood, we certainly wanted to know what it was and put a stop to it.
One of the most convincing reports was given by 17-year-old Chris Davis, who said he encountered the lizard man one night on his way home from work.
We recorded everything he said.
I was driving late that night, coming home from work when I saw it. A huge lizard creature that walked upright like a man.
What color was it?
Black, green,
Can you describe his face?
eyes, red eyes,
What else can you tell me about what you saw?
huge clawed hands, like 7 feet tall.
And I have the original drawing right here that he drew.
After Chris's confession, more and more people came forward with their stories. Frank Mitchell is a pilot. He was taking off one day when he saw something amazing.
It was a tall creature, and it just simply walked across the room with kind of a look. And I never have seen it again. However, I can still hear strange sounds in these woods at night.
So, George, can you tell me what you saw? George Plyler was in his car when he saw something peek out from behind a tree.
It was peeping out from behind a tree at me. Eyes bright red as fire. It was like red hot fire coals.
Eyes, red eyes.
Just like Chris Davis said.
3-pronged toes.
And he says 3 fingers, just like in Chris's drawing.
I never saw anything like that before in my life.
This is where Chris Davis first saw the lizard man. Could there be a clue to this mystery here?
Something had really chewed up the car.
I was driving late that night, coming home from work when I saw it.
Turned its head and looked right at the airplane coming, as if to say, "What are you doing?"
A lot of these stories about the lizard man involve vehicles, like cars or a plane. Is there something about them that gets him angry? Breaking news. Look, I just got a call from Sheriff Truesdale. He said another car has been attacked. It looks like the lizard man's back.
I'm on the trail of monsters. No, not big ones. Today I'm looking for monsters that are so tiny you can't even see them. That's right, micro monsters. Could they be all around us right now? This ancient Japanese book is called the Harikikigaki. The book describes these microscopic monsters that are all around us, even in our bodies. According to the book, each monster has its own special power. This one is the Kenshaku, the angry-faced bug. It lives in the liver. This is the Junshaku, a ferocious creature that can make us sick. In fact, the book says there are 63 different kinds of monsters, and they live all around us, including in our bodies. Could this be true? If it is, the book also shows us a way of how to control them. But could it be a little painful? I have a meeting with Dr. Kokubo. He practices a form of Asian medicine called acupuncture, and he knows all about harikikigaki.
Hello, Christina.
Oh, hey, can you tell me a little bit about acupuncture?
Well, instead of giving you medication, I can help you by sticking needles all over your body.
Whoa. Okay, if there are tiny monsters in my body, I hope this doesn't make them angry.
Just because you can't see micro monsters doesn't mean you can't teach them tricks. All right, roll it back. Come on. So I'm going to show you 2 tricks you can teach them yourself. Up. To start your own micro monster circus.
Trick number 1, micro monster on a can. Ask an adult to make a small hole in the top and bottom of an empty coffee can. Cut a thick rubber band open and thread a heavy nut onto it. Then tie the rubber band back together. Poke one end of the rubber band through the bottom of the can and slide a paper clip under the exposed loop to keep it from slipping back in. Do the same on the other side. And you're ready to perform the micro monster on a can. With a pair of tweezers, pretend to pick up a micro monster, but don't really pick up anything. Put your imaginary micro monster on the can, then roll the can away from you. The heavy nut inside will make the rubber band wind up, and when the can stops, the band will unwind. The can will roll backwards and will look just like your micro monster made it happen. Trick number 2, micro monster bodybuilder. Find a micro monster that's super strong. Get one of your parents to give you a small vase and drop the micro monster into it. Now find a piece of rope, then lower one end of it into the vase and command the micro monster to hang on. The micro monster should keep a firm grip. And if he's really strong, you might even have trouble getting your rope back. Wow! You don't actually need a micro monster for this, but you do need a small rubber ball. Secretly keep the ball in your vase, and when you want to perform this, lower one end of the rope in the vase. Then slowly turn the vase and the rope upside down. When the vase is just past horizontal, the ball will roll towards its mouth and get wedged in against the rope. Turn the vase upside down, and the rope will stay stuck inside. In fact, it's so stuck you can even hang the vase from the rope.
So there you have it. 2 great tricks to help you start your own micro monster circus. And who knows, once the word spreads, maybe some real micro monsters will come to join.
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
I'm investigating the Lizard Man, a terrifying creature that first showed up 20 years ago. Seems like every time someone sees him, there's a car in the picture. Look, I just got a call from Sheriff Truesdale. He said another car has been attacked. Could the Lizard Man be back? It looks like this monster's got a thing for cars. Look, what kind of animal could have done that? This car is pretty badly damaged by what looks like bite marks. There are a lot of scratches here, too. And they found traces of blood.
Hi.
Hi, Dixie. Dixie Rawson is the owner of the car. Could she have seen the Lizard Man at work? Do you have any idea who or what might have done this?
You know, I don't. But I got 2 cats, Blinky and Jake. I believe they do.
What do you mean?
Well, I had a lot of cats. I had about 19, 20 cats. I think some got up underneath the car, and whatever came here was after the cats. Whether he got them or not, I don't know, but they're gone. We called the sheriffs. They came, they took blood samples, and they said they'll let us know if they can find out what did it.
Okay, Lizard Man, this is getting personal. If the monster is back, well, maybe I can catch him. At least on camera. So I decided to put an ad out in the local paper. Anyone with information, please come forward. And they did. Okay, first one. What information do you have about the Lizard Man, Nicole?
He likes butter beans.
Butter beans?
We found a lot of dead snakes on the side of the road. You know, a snake's close to a lizard, which is also a reptile. I don't think he likes seeing dead snakes.
Lizardman likes shiny things, you know, like a crow.
My garden is very often rifled through, and yet I have kitties, so I know it's not the rabbits.
Do you have any advice for any travelers in terms of the Lizard Man?
Stay away from the swamp. That's my best advice.
It looks like the Lizard Man may still be around, and I just picked up a few tips on how to catch him.
Lizardman likes shiny things.
This ancient Japanese book says there are tiny monsters living inside our bodies, but it also says that they don't like needles.
A bit nervous?
I am a bit nervous. If there are any in my body, I'm gonna try and get their attention. Here we go.
How do you feel?
Oh, it's nothing.
Nothing, right?
No.
Yeah.
Acupuncture isn't as bad as I imagined.
So when the needle goes in, quite often you feel muscle twitches.
Oh, yeah.
Muscle.
And I'm keeping on the lookout for any microscopic monster activity.
I feel like your muscles inside acting so
Twitching,
weird.
right?
Yeah.
Could that be the micro monsters acting up?
I feel my back is so warm.
Dr. Kokubo, in the Harikikigaki, it says that there's monsters that are living inside of us. Is that true?
This textbook was written over 400 years ago.
Dr. Kokubo tells me the ancient Japanese had observed that very big illnesses often came from very small things.
They could imagine the so-called monsters.
The ancients could only imagine the micro monsters, but today we can see them. And I'm on my way to do just that. This is Dr. Needham. He's a microscopic explorer. Hey, Dr. Glenn.
Hey, Christina, did you bring what I asked for?
Right here.
Great.
Is all right?
Yeah. Now we can see what's living in your headquarters.
Okay.
Yeah?
Is it possible that there were tiny monsters all around me and I didn't even know it? Okay. No way.
The Lizard Man isn't the only half-man, half-animal people say they've seen. Just ask 10-year-old Dennis Kane of Eugene, Oregon. He might have heard the call of the Wolf Man. It's alive! Take a look on the... Take a look on the Mystery Illustrator. Dear Doubting Dave, sometimes when I go camping, I hear howling in the woods. And I wonder if it could be a werewolf. Do werewolves exist? And if I was bitten by a regular wolf, would I become a werewolf too? Well, Dennis, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is werewolves definitely exist. Huh? The good news is they only exist in books and movies. Oh, and on television. Thanks. You're welcome. But how can you be sure? Science! Every animal on Earth has its own DNA. That's a code inside all of us that makes us what we are. And just like you can't mix a can of soup with a bag of cookies, you can't mix one animal's DNA with another, especially by biting. If you could, male men would become dog men, campers would become mosquito men, and big brothers would become little sister men. So, Dennis,
You don't have to worry about getting turned into a werewolf. Ow! A wolf bite can't make you a wolf man any more than a lizard bite can make you a lizard man. But thanks for the great email.
We'll be right back with more Mystery Hunters. We now return to Mystery Hunters.
Lizard Man was spotted in the swamps of South Carolina some 20 years ago. Could he be back? I got a few suggestions from the people who live around here about how to catch the lizard man. Now, some of them are a bit strange, but you never know.
He likes butter beans.
Buttery.
You find a lot of dead snakes on the side of the road. I don't think he likes seeing dead snakes.
Lizardman likes shiny things.
All right, I gotta try something else. Chris Gentili knows a lot about monster reptiles. Well, I'm investigating a creature that eyewitnesses say is 7 feet tall with glowing red eyes. Could something like that really exist?
There's a lot of things that could fit that description. We're looking at American alligators here, and it's amazing at night when you shine light in their eyes. They actually do glow red.
Eyes. Red eyes.
Could the red eyes have been reflections from the headlights of a car? Well, people say that it stands on its feet. Do you think that could be it?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Alligators don't walk on 2 feet, obviously, but sometimes when they're lurching at animals like birds or animals that might be low in trees, you'll see alligators come out of the water and give an appearance like they're kind of standing up on their back legs.
There's people out behind a tree at me.
Could that be what some people saw? An alligator lurching for a bird?
And you got to remember, too, Araya, that sometimes people at night, if they're driving in their car and maybe they're tired and they hear all these stories about lizard men, sometimes their eyes might play tricks on them.
I was driving late that night, coming home from work when I saw it.
I guess sleepiness could explain some cases. But what about the damage on Dixie's car? That was undoubtedly real. This is Sheriff Melvin. He's now in charge of the Lizard Man investigation.
We approached the case like any other criminal case. First thing we did, we took a report, went to the house, looked for tracks, anything we could find.
They took blood samples.
Well, Dixie Rawson told me that you had blood samples taken.
Yeah, we did.
And what did they find?
Came back to a canine.
A canine? That means a dog. Do you think a dog did this?
I would think a dog wouldn't have done this. A coyote or a wolf, yes.
Interesting, because Chris Gentili also told me that wild animals do sometimes attack cars, especially if there's food inside, or maybe cats underneath. So then Lizard Man had nothing to do with this.
From my point of view, Lizard Man case is closed.
It looks like the latest sighting of the Lizard Man was probably a wolf, a coyote, or even a big dog. But what about what all those people saw 20 years ago? Is Lizard Man real? Or is he just something folks around here like to talk about? I guess the answer is somewhere out there.
This ancient Japanese book says there are tiny monsters that are all around us and make us sick. Could they have been onto something? The answer might be hiding on my pillow. Check that out. There's actually a lot of little things in here. Looks like dust right now.
So are you ready to see what's been living in your headquarters?
Okay. No way. That is in there.
Right.
Is there any way that I can get a closer look?
Yeah.
What are they?
Those are house dust mites.
Dust mites are insects related to spiders that are so small they can't be seen without a microscope. But they live in our houses and feed on our skin.
That's what they prefer. But they don't eat skin while it's on us. They wait till it falls off, and then they eat it.
And that's why they're in our pillows or in our beds or And could these mites make us sick?
They certainly can. For most people, they don't, but for a certain percentage of the population who are allergic to dust, they can have a runny nose and itchy eyes, or maybe as severe as an asthma attack.
And how do we get rid of these?
There are various ways to approach the problem, but one is to get rid of your pillow, get a new one maybe every year. Another way to go about it is to vacuum real thoroughly.
I see. You know, the monsters described in the Harikikigaki were just a way for people of the time to explain what caused disease. But you know, they really weren't that far off. Today, scientists know that a lot of illnesses are caused by bacteria and viruses. And they don't look all that different from the little creatures in the Harikikigaki. And as for the dust mite, I've got the cure right here. And there's nothing they can do about it. No way. Hey, Araya, what are these?
Oh, you know I like comics, right?
Yeah?
I thought the Lizard Man might make a cool superhero.
You're more like a super villain.
No, that's alternate universe Lizard Man.
Hey, he is pretty cool. He could probably be like Micro Monster's arch enemy.
Christina, I really don't think that Micro Monsters would be a good match for Lizard Man.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, he's like 1 billion times bigger than him.
I wouldn't insult the Micro Monsters if I were you.
Oh, yeah? What are they gonna do?
Micro Monsters 1, humans who are 1 billion times their size, 0.
I'm pretty sure my laces just got tangled together.
Yeah, maybe. But remember, things aren't always what they seem.